Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. And there's one other thing, David, that I wanted to bring up. I talked earlier about how I built this wholesaling business, and
Mhm.
I didn't feel like I built it in a way that it could be sold. Well, with
Yeah.
storage, it's like you said, you're buying a business. It's a real legitimate
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
It has the benefits of real estate. So when you
Mhm.
talk about appreciation, depreciation, the tax benefits, the cash flow, like all the reasons we love real estate, it's all wrapped up into storage. It also
Yeah.
happens to be a real business,
Right.
which is cool.
I
So
feel like it's the best of all worlds, right? It's real estate, it's a business. There's no tenants. Nobody's calling you at 3 in the morning. It literally is the golden goose. I love it, and definitely need to explore it more. So you bought your first one September of 2021. Like, where are you at now? How many units? How many deals? Talk a little bit
yeah,
about that.
yeah. 3 months ago, I had 838 units. In the last two and a half
Oh,
months,
wow.
I sold two facilities in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I sold that one, and there was another one 3 miles away that I sold, and so that gave me a footprint of 80,000 square feet in that particular market. And I was able to, through a broker, we found the buyer that bought that entire portfolio. It
Mhm.
was about 600 and something units that he bought there in Mississippi.
Wow.
So fortunately, we did very well in the exit. And then I also own a facility in Amelia Island, Florida,
Oh,
along with a
wow.
partner. That facility that came from a direct mail piece, and that's when I talk about seller financing. We got 90% seller financing. I found the private lender that funded the 10%. So another deal that I did without money out of my pocket, and
Mhm.
we got some ridiculous seller finance terms on that one.
Yeah.
So that's in storage. These people are business owners
Mhm.
that are not emotionally attached to these assets. And so seller financing is pretty common in this space. I
Really?
find that oftentimes I don't have to really educate too many sellers about what that looks like.
Mhm.
Versus when I was in single family, that conversation, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, it's very, and all of our properties were all bought that way with seller financing, so super
Yep.
familiar with it. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Like, hey, do you need all the money at once? Maybe I can find a way to do this. Where probably a lot of these guys got some portion of how they bought it might have been on seller financing.
Yeah, that's right. No, and this particular seller that we bought this facility from, he is actually generating more cash flow on the seller financing note
Yeah,
than when he was managing, owning, and operating the facility because
right.
he hadn't raised the rates. He lives in a different state. The facility's in Florida. He wasn't
Mhm.
really treating it like a business. And so
Right.
even though we got really favorable terms, he's actually making more cash passively through the note than he
Yeah.
was managing and operating the facility. So it was truly a win-win in the classic sense of the word.
Yeah, and I used to tell people the same thing, like, hey, you'll make as much or maybe more or at least the same as you would, with your rent minus repairs and minus, the taxes and the insurance and all those types of things, because we knew there was such an opportunity to go in there and fix it up and, increase the rent. So